when you break your fast and you refeed and eat crap for several days and you regain all this weight. Just because you haven't eaten doesn't mean that you are weak. Maybe during the first 24 to 48 hours when you're converting from carb burning to fat burning. Hello everyone. I wanted to make a video and talk about the 6 fasting mistakes that I have learned through in the last 2 years, a little bit over 2 years that I've been fasting myself. These are not just mistakes that new people to fasting make, but also people that have been fasting for years. I see this happen all the time. I see it through my clients that I coach. I see it through the questions I get on Instagram from people. Of course, everything I discussed in this video is for information only. It's my personal experience and none of this is medical advice. So always consult your doctor if you have any questions. So the first mistake that I see people often make is fasting too long. And by too long, I mean more than 5 days. There's nothing wrong with going longer than that. I know people that do it for medical reasons. And of course, if you go longer than really 5-7 days, you should have medical supervision. I know one of my friends that's fasting, doing a 40-day fast, and she is under medical supervision. So keep that in mind. For just general weight loss, sometimes less is better. I feel like people that fast too long often break their fast and they binge. So really, you are taking all this work that you've done and you are throwing it away. So it's not really the fast that makes you lose weight. Yes, you lose weight during the fast, obviously, but it's really the refeeds that make a huge difference in your weight loss. Longer is not always better. How can you fix the long fasting? Fast shorter. 24. I mean, even if you have to start off with doing OMAD or 2MAD, that's fine. There's no issue in doing that till you learn how to control your refeeds. Number two is limiting your refeeds to a shorter refeeding window and going right back into fasting. Refeeds are the key, guys. And I myself used to think that the fasting part was the key. Yes, that is important as well. But what's the point of fasting, let's say 3, 4, 5 days when you break your fast and you refeed and eat crap for several days and you regain all this weight? So keep your refeed windows shorter. 1 hour window, that's fine. If it works for you, you can do it. Some people don't like that feeling of just like stuffed. For them, maybe doing like a 4-hour window refeed, starting with like a small like bone broth and maybe later doing like a salad and a meal. If that works for you, that's fine too. Just don't go and like eat all freaking day. Like just keep eating, because that is usually what produces the binges. Even when you lose all the weight, like you really cannot go back to that old way of like just eating all freaking day. Most of my days when I'm not fasting, I usually stick to either 2MAD or OMAD. That works for me, and there's many benefits of decreasing that feeding window as well, because you're not constantly raising your blood sugar throughout the day, you know, making your pancreas release insulin to bring it down. Number 3, feeling deprived after finishing a fast. And I kind of already mentioned that in number 2. The longer you go, sometimes the more deprived you feel because you are not in control of your eating. And perhaps you do have like a binge eating disorder. And if that is the case, you should get some help because it's hard to deal with that on your own. And some people do need professional help. So please get some help if you do think you truly do have a binge eating disorder. But for majority of people out there, decreasing your fasting window and really just being mindful about eating will make the huge difference as well. So decrease your window till you start having more control over your refeed. Number 4. This one is kind of funny to me actually, because I hear this all the time. It's not getting enough movement. Sometimes people message me like, oh, I'm fasting, I shouldn't be doing anything. Well, why not? If you feel okay, do stuff. I think people are so afraid that they're going to be so weak and unable to do anything that they should really just sit on the couch and rest and conserve their energy. And if they feel like if they lift like a finger, they're gonna like die from exhaustion because they haven't had any food. And that is simply not true. Maybe if you're just brand new to fasting, I can see that, and you just want to kind of see how you feel. It really depends, it depends on your experience. It's all in your mind. Most of the times it's just really in your mind. Just because you haven't eaten doesn't mean that you are weak. Maybe during the first the 24 to 48 hours when you're converting from carb burning to fat burning, you might feel weaker, you might have a headache. So, if you want to rest, stay home, take a bath, sure, that's fine. But don't, just because you're fasting, don't think that you can't move. A lot of times when you go for a walk, especially outside, you will feel better. Movement produces more energy. You'll feel better when you go for a walk, and really take advantage of the fat burning, because this is the stage when you are burning, when you're in a fat burning mode. The more movement you have, the better fat burning, right? I mean, obviously, you don't want to go doing sprints or running marathons when you're fasting. That's probably a little too much, perhaps. But going for a walk or even doing like a light workout, if you feel good, do it. Don't be afraid of that. Number 5 is drinking plain water only. Any fast over 24 hours, I always add electrolytes, mainly sodium, potassium, pink Himalayan salt, and some no salt. And can you fast without electrolytes? Yes, you can. And I actually have done it myself many times. And did I survive? Yeah, I survived. But now knowing how much better I feel when I have electrolytes, I really don't want to fast without the electrolytes. So the difference is huge. I almost always drink electrolytes now in my water. I actually have a modified snake juice recipe on my Instagram that I use. It's got the pink salt, no salt, and some other electrolytes in it. And I love it. I drink it all the time. Even when I'm eating, I still drink it. When I first started fasting, I did drink only plain water because I was a member of a bunch of these groups, the water fasting groups. And anything other than water, if you ingested anything other than water, they called it a dirty fast. Is it a dirty fast? Maybe. I don't care. I'm dirty then. I'm a dirty faster. And I'm okay with that. It works for me. I still get the benefits. I've been dirty fasting since last April, and I've lost all this weight in a year, and I'm okay. But if you want to just do clean, straight water fast, sure, do it. It's not a problem. But I do what works for me, and you have to figure out what works for you. The restrictive, just water fast doesn't work. And as a matter of fact, drinking tons of just plain water when you're fasting can be quite dangerous, because you are losing electrolytes. You're peeing out a lot of these crucial electrolytes like sodium. Sodium is potassium sparing. So if the sodium goes, then the potassium goes. And then what happens? You get into these cardiac issues. You can have some really dangerous heart rhythms. Electrolytes control your heart. They are key to your heart electrical impulses. So keep that in mind. It's very, very important, especially if you're going longer than 24 hours. Number 6, keeping the same fasting routine for weeks on or months on, or even years, I guess. With fasting, just like with anything else, if you don't change things up, your body's gonna get used to it. Your body is so smart. If you don't change things up, you're gonna adapt. Like my first month, I lost, I think I did like a rolling 48-72 fast, low carb fast. And that's when I lost the most weight. It was like 30, I think 32 pounds. My first podcast episode talks about it. I will link it in my description. But I lost all this weight in the first month. And then the second month, for 2 weeks, I stalled completely. I lost nothing. Why is that? My body lost all this weight in the first month, and it was like, oh heck no, we're not losing any more fat. We gotta conserve all this energy. So it stalled. So I had to change a few things. I went and did some OMAD and did some other things to break the stall. Change it up. You know, don't, if you're always doing, you know, rolling 72s, then change it up. Go and eat for like a whole day if you need to. Change it up. Your body is so smart that it's going to get used to what you're doing, and it's gonna adjust. And the same goes with workouts. You know, if you do the same workout for months, you're not gonna get sore anymore because your body adapts to it. You get used to it. Change it up. Same thing with food. If you're always eating, you know, lower carb, yes, you will get results, but sometimes it's good to have a little bit of extra carbs to keep your body metabolically flexible. It's actually good for your hormones. It's good for your body. So don't be afraid to have a little extra carbs and then go right back into keto if you want to, or carnivore. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's it. Comment below and let me know which ones of these have been the most helpful for you. Perhaps there are other mistakes that you've made yourself that you want to share. Then please share it with me. Comment below and let me know. And happy fasting. Thank you for watching.